Hey guys, so I wanted to go over this 6.6 practice kites and trapezoids with you so that on Tuesday we can just do a straight full review of 6.4 and 6.6. So, on number 1, this is a trapezoid. And remember, if it's an isosceles trapezoid, then these two angles are the same and these two angles are the same. So if that's 80, then that's 80. And you have to start with 360. So 360 minus 160 tells you that you have 200 left, but you split it twice because each one's the same. So each one was 100. Same concept for number 2. This time it's just flipped sideways. So if this is 110, then this is 110. And then this is, so that's 220. Subtract that from 360, and you would get 140. Divide that by 2, and each of these two are 70 individually. Okay, number 3. If this is an isosceles trapezoid, which it is because it told us, then if that's 4, that's 4. And if that's 7, that's 7. So to find JL, you would add those together. So you'd have 7 plus 4, which is 11. Okay, we have another isosceles trapezoid. So if XZ is 18, so the whole thing's 18. But we know this is 3. And if this is 3, then this is 3. So 3 plus 15 has to give us 18, which means that what we're finding, which is just PW, this right here, has to be 15. Alright, we're back to a kite. Remember that if this is 5, then this is also 5. Our only angles right now that we know are 90 degrees. So we have 5 and 8, and we want to find YZ, which is right here. So using Pythagorean theorem, you would take your hypotenuse is what you're finding. So your C is going to stay here. And you have 5 squared plus 8 squared, 89. Take the square root of 89. It cannot reduce, so leave it as a square root of 89. Same concept for number 6. The only difference is that you have your hypotenuse and you're solving for either A or B. So you have 4 squared plus B squared equals 6 squared. Keep solving. You get down to 20. Take the square root of 20, and your final answer is 2 square root of 5. Alright, here we go. We have kites. Remember, kites only have two angles that are the same. This angle and this angle. So if you know these two, start with 360, subtract what you do know. You will have a number left, whatever that number is, divide it by 2, and you'll get each individual one. Okay, on 8, X and Z are your angles that are the same. So take 360 minus 120 minus 90. You'll get a number which is going to be 150. Divide that by 2 to get 75 because you're finding angle Z. So this one right here. Alright, and 9 and 10 we're using the same trapezoid. So if this is a trapezoid, find the value of X so that it is an isosceles. Well, AC is this side right is this diagonal, and BD is this diagonal. So if you set those two equal to each other, you'll solve and get X is equal to 15. Okay, so that was dealing with sides. This one's dealing with angles. So you have angle ABC. That's that whole angle right here. And then you have DAB, which is this whole angle right here. Remember that it's an isosceles trapezoid. So these two angles are the same, and these two angles are the same. So if I know both angle A and B, I can set them equal, solve, and I get X is equal to 11. Alright, to the back. Okay, we're using trapezoids, and we're using the mid-segment. So I've already have my numbers for number 12, but for number 11, go ahead and label everything. So PM would be 2x, so I'll write that right here. QR is going to be 3x, and TS is 10. So you take the two bases, add them together, and divide by 2 to get your mid-segment. So 10 plus 3x divided by 2 equals 2x. So here, a lot of us got confused in just solving this equation. You just multiply each side by 2. You are multiplying, so you can multiply those two together. So 10 plus 3x, and then 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract, you get, subtract 3, and then solve, you get 10. And then plug it back in to find PM, which 2 times 10 is 20. Same concept, add 5x plus 3, 2x plus 2, divided by 2, equals 13. Multiply both sides by 2. These cancel. 13 times 2 is 26. 5 plus 2 is 7. 3 plus 2 is 5. Subtract, divide, plug it back in. Okay, we do have an isosceles trapezoid next. So they've given us a lot. They said EC is 9. So if EC is 9, so is DE. And they said DB is, so this whole thing's 19, which means if that's 9, then this has to be 10, and this is 10. And then they gave us two individual angles. They said that this one's 40 and this one's 35, which combines to give you 75. So from there, let's just fill in everything we know. AE, well, if this is 10, then that is 10. AC, well, 10 plus 9 is 19. BCD is this whole thing. So if this is 75, this is the same. It still has to equal 360, so subtract 150. You will get 210. Divide 210 because it has to be split between this angle and this angle. So you would get 105. Okay, the measure of EDC. Just E to D to C. Well, this is this one. We haven't really talked about this a whole lot, but use alternate interior. If that's 40, then so is this. Okay, the last two, we have a kite. So the measure of angle WXY, I haven't plugged in, right now 24's numbers are plugged in, so I'll write 23's in green. This is 120. WZY is going to be 4x, and ZWX, which is this one, is going to be 10x. But remember, if this is 10x, so is this. So all the interiors are still going to equal 360. Add all these together, set them equal to 360, solve for x, and plug back in to find the angle measure you're wanting. 24, same concept. Do change this one to 14. It's not supposed to be 24. It's supposed to be 14. Okay, so you can see all my penciled in angles. Add all those up, set it equal to 360, solve, plug it back in. Alright, and if any time I went too fast and you're still confused, shoot me an email or a remind. You can also pause this video at any point if I went a little fast. But it is 3:38 and I am ready for the weekend. I hope you have a great one as well. I will see you on Tuesday.